Well, good morning, Lighthouse. It's great to be here with you. If you don't know, my name is Sean. This is my wife, Whitney. We've been here a few times before, and it's great to be back. We wanted to share this testimony from Hector. Those of you that have been down to Honduras have gotten to know Hector, but he's just a great kid. It's a great example of the stories of what God is doing there in Honduras. And I've gotten to know him really well, and he's just an amazing kid. And that's just, like I said, it's all these different stories and the kids and what they're doing and what God is doing through the church there. So, like I said, we've been in Honduras for over 5 years now. Forget how long sometimes, but it's been a while. And we've been serving alongside the local church here, Mater Eterno. You guys got to meet Pastor Arturo last year. He came and spoke here. And so we've been serving alongside Pastor Arturo in the church there. And several years ago, it was Lighthouse came with a small team to start to explore how to partner with us. And we together decided, you're going to go to the next slide, to partner together to reach into this Ramiro Chacon neighborhood. We had started sponsoring kids in different neighborhoods for a while, and we really wanted to reach into this neighborhood. It's a neighborhood just with extreme need. It's a little better. It is a neighborhood that's right by the city sewage system, and so the kids in the families there, they just come from some tough situations. Their homes just put together with whatever they can find. There's very little opportunity for employment. The parents normally weren't educated. So what happens, we see so often these kids just get stuck in this cyclical poverty. They can't make a better life for themselves. So what we've come in and done is been able to sponsor these kids to go to school, to be able to provide for all their needs. If you go to the next slide here, what we do is these kids that come from these really tough situations, this neighborhood that we've really been able to adopt and help, we together with Lighthouse are able to sponsor them. So Lighthouse is now sponsoring 43 kids in this neighborhood. It's amazing to see over the last 2-3 years what God has done with this partnership. So like I was saying, what we do is we provide everything they need, these kids need to go to school. We provide uniforms, registration costs, school supplies, because in Honduras there's public education, but it's not free. If you don't have a uniform, if you can't pay for registration, if you can't pay for the basic school supplies you need, you just don't go to school. So we try to step in and make sure these kids don't drop out, because normally they do. They drop out 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. So through this program, we're able to get them the uniforms, everything they need to go to school. You see a picture of when we're handing out the uniforms. We bring them into the church every month for a meeting. This is the first one of the year when we give them the uniforms. But every month they come in, and we're able to give them biblical parenting advice, and Pastor Arturo talks to them. We really emphasize both the aspect of providing what they need, but also teaching them about the love of Christ. If you go to the next slide here, one thing we do as well is we give them a tutoring program every week. This is to make sure they're successful. They come from some tough situations, so they struggle in school often. So we do this tutoring program to make sure they're really successful in school. So I'll let my wife talk a little bit more about this.
Yes, it's just wonderful to be here. We love Lighthouse. We love your church. Every time we're here, we just see this outpouring of love and support and generosity, and it means so much to us. I want to talk a little bit about the breakdown of our sponsorship. So on the next slide, we'll see, praise God, I don't know how this happened, but praise God, we have 256 kids sponsored in Danli, Honduras. So to explain how that's broken down, because it is a little complicated, we have 151 kids in the public school. So that's what Sean is just explaining. We give them everything they need to be successful in public school. This is the first year that we have 3 kids in the university. And so, yes. So we had 3 kids go all the way through high school, and they graduated with honors. They got accepted into the public university. Believe it or not, $40 a month covers their cost to go to university. I know some of you are like, can I send my kid to school in Honduras? Like, but so yeah, this is something that their parents never thought that they would be college educated, and they are. And so it's just incredible. Okay, then we have 102 kids in our own Yamato Eternal Christian School. We started this in 2017 because with Pastor Arturo and his wife, Sean and I, we just said, we love that we're sending them to public school, but it would be so much better if we could have them every day, all day, and have control of giving them a quality Christian education. And so we take the same kids. Most of our kids are from the Ramiro Chacon or the surrounding areas. Most of our students come from that area. So they're coming from the poorest of the poor, and we bring them into our school every day, and we're able to teach them in a loving, just wonderful environment. So you have been a huge part of that. If you know it or not, you're a huge part of it, because you've helped us get school supplies, you've helped us get books, you've helped us get kids in chairs by sponsoring them to go to school. So thank you so much. I want to show you some pictures. This is, you can see our first year in 2017, we had 37 kids in kindergarten and first grade, and then 2018, we added pre-K, kindergarten, first and second, and now we have pre-K through third. So every year, our kids are moving up a grade, and we're entering in a new pre-K class, and so our hope is to bring these kids all the way through high school in our church. So please be praying for that, and because that's a big project, but it's something that God has called us to do. We're really excited about it. I have some more pictures of our school. One thing I love is in the upper left is actually the mayor of Danli. In September, that's our Independence Month. It's kind of like 4th of July, but they celebrate it the whole month of September. So the beginning of the month, they have this event where they're opening Independence Day month. And the mayor asked our school to come and lead the city in prayer and worship. And so our little kiddos, they went to the city square, and if you've seen our kids worship, they're serious about worship. And so they prayed for the city, and they were singing to the Lord and just learning how to be a light of Christ in their city, and it's incredible. Go ahead and continue. So I want to explain really quick about how these kids are selected in order to get either the public school sponsorship or our school sponsorship. They're selected by a process that we've developed over the years, because you can imagine the people that need this opportunity are huge. There's a lot of need that we see. And so just to give you an example, in January alone of this year, we had 300 kids with their families come to church to request a sponsorship. And what we do is we take all their information. We have an application form, and their parents fill that out with them, and we take all of their financial information, if it's a single mom, if it's a widow, if she's married, what their income looks like, and everything, all their documents. We get a good picture of the need. Then from those kids, we choose the neediest, and we have a team that goes out and visits all of those homes. So you can see this is Areli, and he has the huge job of going out and visiting all of these homes, getting to know them, talking to them, verifying the need. And then from that group, we sit down and we choose the neediest of the needy. So we have 15 kids out in the lobby today, and I can tell you that those kids are the kids that don't have a shot without a sponsorship. They're not going anywhere. They're what Sean described, they're stuck in that poverty, and they will be stuck in that poverty unless the body of Christ intercedes for them. And so that's our process. I don't know if we've ever explained that really well. I wanted to take a minute to do that. Another opportunity of help, if you'll continue. Oh, I'm sorry. Alfredo, I want to tell this story because it's something that happened this year. It's a really big deal for us personally and for our ministry. Alfredo, I met Alfredo when he was 30 days old. He lives in the same community that you guys have adopted. And he was born with his intestines outside of his body. And so when I met him, he was living in a house that was sticks and mud and living with his grandparents, because also his father had just been taken to prison before he was born, and his mother had been killed because she was involved in drugs and alcohol, and she had been killed because of that. And so Alfredo was born orphaned and born with this severe physical condition, being raised by his grandpa. There's a picture of his grandpa alone in this little mud and stick house. And so we were praying, Arturo and I went there and we were praying for him. One of those situations where in my humanness, I left and I was like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. I mean, they didn't have money for formula, and so they were feeding him like just a little bit of formula with all this dirty water, and you can imagine, then he had to get operated on at 40 days old. They operated on him, and I was just like, he'll be in heaven soon. 3 years go by, and he runs into my office asking for a sponsorship with his grandpa. And you can imagine, I'm not an emotional person, but it was like immediate tears. And so he comes in, and he has all this energy, and he wants to play soccer, and he's so excited. And I'm just like, how are you living? Like, how are you alive? And his grandpa's like, believe me, he's alive. He's got lots and lots of energy. His grandpa, on the other hand, needs some of that energy, I think, to deal with him. But we got him sponsored, and now this little boy is part of our school. He's in pre-K. He's learning. He praises God every morning when he comes in. He can write his name, and he's learning his alphabet. And this little boy who the world said he doesn't have a future, maybe it's better that he just goes, has this beautiful, bright, amazing future. And that's because of people like you who are giving him that opportunity. So you might not see the impact you're making, but you are making a huge impact. So I want to thank you for that. Now I will tell you another way. On the mission trip, our favorite thing in the world is when you come and visit us. And so there's some pictures in the next slide of your last year's mission trip. There's Kevin playing. We put you to work. You have to play really hard. No. And I just want to be grateful and thank you for coming. I want to tell you that these trips are 6-7 days long, but the impact that you make in those 6 and 7 days, we're there all the time. So I can tell you, it's huge. They're still talking about when Lighthouse was there. One of the things that Lighthouse has done in the past is every kid in our school gets a bed. Instead of sleeping on the floor, they get to sleep in a bed. That's huge. And even more than that, they get this group of people who have come so far to talk to them about Christ. One of the things that you can see in that picture in the right is that we went into the public schools. The public schools will open the doors for you to come and preach about Christ. And so we go to places, to kids who will never hear that from anyone else, and we get to talk to them about how Christ died for them and has a huge plan for their life. And so that is something that you can do, that you've done, and you've done amazingly well, and we're so thankful for that. And I'm really excited because I'm told there's another mission trip opportunity in June, and I'm really excited because it's not too late to sign up. And so if you are feeling that tug of just, I want to go, I want to check this out, I want to see for myself, I promise you that you will not be disappointed, because this is just an amazing, amazing opportunity to connect with our kids and to love on them and just show them Christ and be Christ to them is huge. So thank you so much.
So I wanted to talk, we talked about Honduras quite a bit as well. We've also been partnering with you guys to explore the ministry in Uganda, in Double Hope. So I'll go ahead and we'll talk about this a little bit. We had seen Powering Education International sponsoring kids in Honduras, just the impact of what God is doing there. And so I had the opportunity last year, you can go to the next slide here. I had the opportunity to go to Double Hope with the Lighthouse team a little over a year ago to explore how we can come together, Powering Education International and Lighthouse, to support this ministry. It's just an amazing ministry. I was really blown away when I went there, not only being a part of the team there at Lighthouse, we took on some great projects, but really with Julius and Sarah, who lead that ministry, they had this amazing opportunity because there's so many kids with such great need, and through education and through teaching them about Christ, they can build a better future for them. So they've built this ministry, and we're starting to explore how we can come together and support this ministry and support what Julius and Sarah are doing for these kids. So if you go ahead and go to the next slide, I'll talk a little bit about what that looks like, how we're starting to explore that. We just started this back in January. We were able to send, we had $864 raised by Lighthouse, and we were able to send $1,400 in January to start this support, to start how we can really support the school at Double Hope. So this was just an amazing start to this. So thank you guys for doing that. A little bit of that money we set down. We basically decided what we wanted to do when we've been talking with Lighthouse, talking with Double Hope. We wanted to be able to meet some of their immediate needs, allow them to keep doing what they're doing. So this was to meet some needs in school repairs and some of their basic school supplies and some of the teachers' salaries and some of those things they just needed to keep going. So we started with that, and that's what we've been starting with. So a couple opportunities to help. If you go to the next slide, how to help continue, for us to continue supporting Double Hope. We're really excited about this, excited about partnering with Lighthouse to extend into Uganda and to meet the needs at Double Hope. So we will be sending support again mid-year. So if you guys would like to set up a monthly sponsorship or support or one-time donation, we'll be sending support again to meet some of those immediate needs. And then just prayer, because we're really starting to talk through how we can start to form what a sponsorship program looks like in Uganda, what it would look like to continue to support them in a sustainable way. We've had some really great conversations with Julius and Sarah about how we can do this. Just prayer for us as we start to figure out how we can together meet those needs. If you guys want more information, we have a table set up there, not only to be able to sponsor kids in Honduras, talk about the mission trip, but also if you want some information about how you can support our efforts in Double Hope in Uganda. So I just wanted to end just saying thank you guys so much. Thank you, Lighthouse, for supporting this. You guys have some amazing opportunities in front of you as a church in missions, some amazing projects here that you guys have taken on. And we would just want to thank you guys for partnering with us and working with us on that. Please come talk to us after. Thank you all so much.